The next two forms you're going to want to send to your clients and fill out with your clients are going to be the Facts for Consumers form and the Property Transfer Lead Paint Notification. Facts for Consumers is simple, just like it sounds. All it is facts for them to review. They're supposed to receive a copy before they fill out and submit any offer. So with this one, all you have to do is submit the form to your client or share the form to your client for them to review. As a good practice, it's helpful if you just go in, scroll to the bottom, add initials, and have them initial. That way, you know for certain that they've reviewed it, and it's proof that you actually had submitted it to them. You don't have to do that, but that's a best practice. So if we go back, we're now going to review the property transfer lead paint notification. So when you are representing a buyer, this is one of, if not the most critical documents you're going to fill out. It has FYI on our templates here because right off the bat, you should share this with your client before they're even ready to submit an offer. That way they have a chance to review it and they're actually familiar with the document. So again, this version in the buyer's loop is just for their information only. If you click on it, it will have the complete version so they can read through all of the laws and questions and answers associated with lead paint disclosures. And at the bottom is a sample of the property transfer notification certification that we're eventually going to have to fill out with that buyer. As you can see here, we noted that the seller always fills this form out first, and then it's executed by the buyer and yourself before you submit an offer. So again, this is just for them to review right off the bat. And then once the seller submits their completed document, you'll start filling it out. So when they do submit it to you, the seller will fill out this seller's disclosure section, and they will let your client know if they have any knowledge of lead-based paint or lead-based paint hazards within that property. If they do, they'll note what records and reports they have available. And generally, if there's no knowledge of lead-based paint, as you can see here in A2, they'll click B2, which is the seller has no reports or records pertaining to lead-based paint. Again, this will be completed by the seller. And if you scroll down, it should be signed by the seller, and it should be signed by the seller's agent with the address of the property already filled out. Again, that should come filled out before your buyer ever sees this version of the document. So with your buyer, what you're going to need to do is have them initial in section C if they received any documents. If they did not, have them initial in section D. Again, that should be one or the other. You shouldn't be initialing both. Section E is just signifying that they've received the property transfer lead paint notifications. They should initial in section E. And then they should initial in section F and click 1 or 2 or check 1 or 2 below, which is saying that they are going to use a 10-day opportunity to conduct a lead paint inspection, or they've waived the opportunity to conduct a risk assessment or inspection for lead-based paint or hazards in that property. You cannot lead them either which way. This is critically important. It is their decision whether they want to conduct this inspection or not. There is no standard. This is completely up to your buyer at the time they are signing this document. Once they click and check 1 or 2, you're going to complete the section H, so that is you as the buyer's agent. Section G should already be initialed by the seller's agent. And then down below, the purchaser, so your buyer, is going to sign and date, and you are going to complete the form as an agent by signing and dating as well. Again, you can use your tools once you understand which direction your buyer wants to go. Use your tools such as initials to add initials, size it appropriately, and insert it in the correct boxes. That way, when they get the form, everything is completely filled out. The check marks are there. All they have to do is initial and sign, which is commensurate with what they intended the form to say. So once it's complete and done, click on Save and Share. This document should always be submitted with your signed contract to purchase if you are going to submit a contract to purchase. It should not be submitted afterwards. Should always be submitted with that contract to purchase.